Hello, Vizal. My name is Bonnie, and we have you today. A short introduction by myself. I am a diversity and inclusion specialist as well as an environmentalist, and I'm so happy that I will be able to have a conversation with you. Um, it's my pleasure to be able to talk to you because I have experienced you through my dog. Although we've never met, my experience through my dog is how I have known you. So meeting online is just fabulous. Tell us a little about yourself, Vizal.
Bonnie, your voice is breaking. I can't hear you.
Uh, okay. I have introduced myself and I'd like you to introduce yourself, Vizal.
Yeah, hi. Bonnie, your voice, I can't hear you anything you said. Hello.
Vizal, I have known you through my dogs and it's a pleasure to have you here. And I'd love to have you introduce yourself to the audience.
Rana, there is no voice.
So I'm sorry that we are having a bit of a technical challenge. We're just sort of waiting for Vizal to join back. She has dropped off and is trying to reconnect. In the meantime, we'll just wait and see in case people have any thoughts around our conversation there. I think, Vizal, you're back. Vizal, can you hear my voice?
Yeah, hi, Bonnie. Yes, I'm here.
All right, so welcome back, Vizal. I'll just
give me.
Vizal, we are not able to hear you.
Is it okay? And just have to go back.
Vizal, I hope that we'll be able to hear you this time.
Yeah, hi, Bonnie.
Hi.
How are you?
Glad to have you back.
Yeah, much clear.
And when you just stepped into the e-platform, I just had introduced myself, but I would like to introduce myself again and then have you introduce yourself. I'm so delighted to see you here, Vizal. I have heard a lot of you through my dogs because they are your esteemed customers. And today we'll be touching upon your personal journey, your journey in the area of pets, both inside and outside the homes, and a little about you being a businesswoman in a field which is very different than usual. What is your personal background? So, and I'm assuming that you're just based out of Gurgaon, or do you have other branches as well? So let's hear from you. Who are you? Who is Vizal Atheya? And yeah, over to you.
Yeah,
Vizal.
hi. So, I'm Vizal Atheya and I'm the owner of PetSpot. I started PetSpot in 2007. It's been 13 years now. We have a very small team of 7 people right now. We are providing different services, boarding, grooming, relocation under PetSpot. But yeah, I am from Gurgaon now from last 13 years, but I come from a foothill of Nainital. It's a Uttarakhand towards the Kumayu side where I grew up. And it's a very small town called Rudrapur. My schooling is from campus school Pantnagar. So yeah, that's my background.
Oh wow! So from close to Nainital to Gurgaon, it must have been a different environment, right? From the greens to the desert.
Absolutely, yeah. Yes. But
And
I did my graduate from Delhi, so yes, it's been almost 20 years. I'm in a city life, so it hardly make any difference. I hardly like remember my childhood days now. It's mostly the city life I'm living.
where did you do your university? I mean, not where, or rather, you just said Delhi, but what did you do your graduation in? Something to do with animals?
No, I pursued engineering in electronics and communication, and yeah, so that was
Oh
I did.
wow! And your engineering background, I'm sure, has nothing to do with cats and dogs and birds that you handle because they are not engineers in this. So, what's your journey? That's so intriguing. That's such a lovely, intriguing story to start off with. I mean, how did an engineer get into the world of becoming the Dr. Doolittle in your
Yeah,
spin?
it's a very long story, but I'll just try to put it in a very short, not today. So I was really, really scared of dogs when I was a kid. And when I was in my higher secondary school, I got a puppy as a gift from one of my very close friends. Now he's my husband, Rana Athaya. So he gifted me a puppy. And since after that, the entire story changed. I started, liking dogs, and not just liking dogs. I started loving them, doing anything beyond my limits, going after them for, any help they need in the stray, anywhere.
Mhm.
And, but from the very childhood, I always wanted to pursue my engineering. So that is what, made me to do engineering. But by the fourth year, by the last year, I decided, no, this is not my cup of tea. I
You
have
don't
to,
want to
like,
be
I am
part of
not the,
the rat race that you
yes.
saw
But yeah,
happening.
I learned a lot. It made me a very different person. In engineering, it's not an easy course to pursue. It's a very hard life, and it's,
Mm.
it definitely transform a life. So yes, I gained a lot from my engineering, but yes, I decided no, I can't be, into the rat race. I have to do something which my heart says. So I did a corporate job for some time,
From the
but
headspace, the heart space was a transition that you had to go through. And you just mentioned that you worked in the corporate environment, but um, by the time that you were working in the corporate environment, did you all ever have any pets? Were you married then? Were you unmarried then? Did you just jump and get picked up from the university? I mean, how was it?
so I started my job after marriage only because I had to go back after my engineering to my hometown, to my parents, because I was looking to go for the MBA. But unfortunately, that didn't happen because my parents were not ready to send me abroad. So then after that, I got married to Rana. I came to Gurgaon. I started my job. So in the 2 years of corporate job, I struggled a lot keeping my dog,
Hmm.
at home because we recently got married and then we recently got a puppy immediate after the marriage. So, and then corporate job, long hour job, like, the starting, like your login time in the morning, but you don't know the closing time, like once
Right.
you are at the job. So I was looking for a nice place for my dog to keep, and I couldn't find one. And one day, I just decided that I have to do something in this space because there was nothing available in entire Delhi in Gurgaon which was doing a personalized thing or some kind of a nice, hygienic, clean, boarding space for a dog. So just this idea came into my mind, and I started with the boarding in 2007.
2007. Yeah, I think that was the time that I had personally moved to Gurgaon with my three cats from Bangalore, and I remember having harrowing moments whenever I used to travel, and I think I can relate to it. But dogs would have been easier, but for cats there was just no space, and that had a drastic impact on my personal career because I started pushing back that I wouldn't want to take up work wherein extensive travels were required. So I can sort of empathize with you, but you took a drastic step and you made a paradigm shift in your career, and that
Yeah,
has.
it was not easy, Bonnie. I'm telling you, like leaving your corporate job, it's a good amount you're getting every month. You have to take a good hard decision, to start something of your own.
You took it was a heart move, and that's really come a long way. That um,
Yes.
sort of given
Yeah,
you.
that is there. But sometimes you have to be very, very strong and patient with your decisions, because you can't just live and feed yourself with what your heart says. You have to really, plan everything, and you need a support from your family, from friends,
Yeah.
your partner. So everything comes together. And in 2 years, like we had not much of our savings, no capital,
Mm,
and taking a move of starting my own business with the zero capital was not easy. But
yes.
yes, with the support of family, with the support of partner, one can do it, and one has to be really, really patient, because magic doesn't happen overnight. You have to really put in your efforts to let the magic happen.
Yeah. So, Vizal, you have said that you grew up with the dogs. But have you ever had incidents where you've been bitten by dogs, or you've been, I'm
Oh,
asking
many times.
this
Yeah, many times, I
small
believe.
town where you said that
Yeah, I
you.
do not even remember now how many times I've been. Oh, initially when I used to, groom dogs, I used to get so many bites, because yeah, it was my starting, because I always kept keeping, or handling your own dog is different than handling, others' dog, and
Yeah.
especially pet dogs. It's not easy. You can predict a behavior of a stray dog, but
Hmm.
predicting a behavior of a pet dog is very difficult for me. I'm telling you, because every dog is spoiled in their own ways, in their own manners. So initially, it was very, very challenging for me to understand the behavior of a pet dog coming to me. But
Hmm.
yes, with the experience, with the time, it became so easy and smooth. Even today, when people come to me and say, "Oh, be careful, my dog bites," I say, "Oh, it's okay, I'll take care. Do not worry." And they go amazed. They say, "How you did it? This dog,
I
like
know.
who bites everybody?" And so
I
now,
know,
yeah,
I
things
know
are very
about my
different.
dog who comes to you. So we'll talk about that a little later during our conversation. But Rizal, you have a dog grooming facility. You have the boarding, and then you also have pet relocations, right?
Yeah,
The
yes,
And it's all a domino effect, because it starts with you require the first, and you require the second. You require a boarding. Any pet parent requires a boarding at some point in time. uh, Grooming is regular, of course, and there are intricacies that I know that my dogs are happier when they come to you, and when they come back home they are different dogs altogether, and in 10 minutes they become brown again. They come back and they roll all over because they're just so happy. And then, of course, I've also interacted with you in the past when I had to relocate my 5 cats from Paris to Delhi about 2 years ago, and that was a different experience. So we'll touch upon our dialogues on all these little, but it's amazing to see one woman wearing multiple hats, and your journey of 13 years is inspiring enough. So. Uh, let's talk about, how did you start off with grooming? Did you, I mean, yes, of course, you're boarding on one side, but let's talk a little bit about grooming. Did you jump off and just open up a shop, or how was it? I mean, how did you decide that I will do the grooming and I will do the boarding? What came first? The boarding came first, I'm assuming, right?
I started with the boardings, yes, because that was the idea. That was where I was struggling with initially. So any dog who used to come to us for the boarding, uh, we used to keep them neat, clean, healthy,
Right.
safe. So every dog coming to me used to go absolutely clean and groomed. So people
Hmm.
started asking for a paid grooming services. That's how the grooming services started.
Right.
During the grooming services and the boarding services, there were few clients of mine which were coming for the regular to us. They were relocating to certain countries, and they just asked me once, like, "Can you help me? Can you help us with the relocation of the
Right.
dog?" Though I never did that, but I told them that yeah, there are like maybe some certain companies like PetFly was there at that time. So So I told them that why don't you just go to the pet supply and do it? And they wanted to do with me because I knew how to handle their pet. They were coming to me. They said, no, I want you to just, you know, do and handle our pets because you know the pet, you keep the pet with you, we will help you. So that's how like we both worked on the relocation part, both the families and me.
So
And
you
we
sort
did
of
it.
do things on the go, basically.
Yeah.
Literally.
So it all started one by one. Yeah. Nothing came all together. Yes.
So you basically rolled up your sleeves, got your hand dirty, and said, okay. So it started with boarding. I mean, do you remember any of your funny incidents from your initial days of boarding? Something that you can still think back and laugh about it in your own head?
Oh yeah, yes. Initially, because you know, we just started with one or two pets at a time, and when pets used to, and just the small furry pets, because I was in an apartment that time, just 2-bedroom apartment. So there was a pet came to us with a long menu list, having in that menu there was a strawberries in the day, or French fries in the day, or yo-yo momos in the in the day I have to feed. And I was like amazed. Wow, dog eat all these things: strawberries, cherries, kiwi. Like, what kind of a menu is this? Like, where is the dog's menu? I was just, it was so funny for me. First, I thought like owner might have just left their own menu, and I had to call the owner and ask like, where's the dog menu? I can't find a dog menu in the bag. And they said, no, it's there. I thought like, wow, it's strawberry, kiwi, and what is this? So that is a really funny moment for me. Still, I remember.
I think it's something that one can't comprehend, that what are you going to be feeding this. So now people leave their furry babies with you. Do you actually give customized food to each one's? Really?
Yeah, so that is the concept of my boarding from the very beginning. Everything is customized. Whosoever pet comes, we first evaluate the pet, their behavior, we also check whether they are socialized with the other pets or not. Are they good with the new human beings or not? We check their vaccinations, everything. We also discuss the entire feed plan with the owners, because we are very, very customized with the pets.
Right.
So as per their feed plans, their health, everything we check very, very thoroughly. Yeah.
So Vizal, I think that it's important that you are hands-on with it. What happens when you are traveling? Do you have helping hands, or does your family look into your boarding work, or do you have staff who look into your boarding work? How does it? Do you have any limitations of how many dogs you're going to take in?
Yeah, so yes, we have a limitation because it's a home boarding. So there is a certain limited number. On an average, we keep 8 to 10 dogs at a time. And yes, I have a staff which is with me from last 12 years continuously. They're very trusted, boys with me, handling pets, and they're very passionate about dogs and other animals coming to us, because we just not hosting dogs. We are hosting cats, we are hosting rabbits, hamsters, birds. So all kind of animals are coming to us for the boardings, and they are very good with it. So that's my core team, and that's how we work.
And how did you then graduate into grooming? I mean, of course, you started with a few dogs in the house, and then did you start grooming them in your house initially, and then eventually people came with their pets to your house for grooming, or how was it?
So every dog coming to us for the boarding used to get groomed in the house only. So we had a separate area for the grooming of the dogs. So just the basic setup with the table, blow dryer, clippers, shears, just the basic cleaning, so that the dog should be in a good shape, mat free, clean, no dust or no ticks, no fleas. So we had to check all those things. And then we have started our home visit services, where the boys used to go to the homes and groom the dog. So I always used to go with the boys to just maintain the quality of the grooming. So we did this home visit for 2 years, but the client database was growing so fast. There was a number of calls coming every day, and we had limitations to just be able to groom 3-4 maximum home visits in a particular day. So then this idea came to open the parlor and cater the services on a larger scale.
If I think in 2007, 8 or 9, if you would have come to my house to groom my cats, I'm absolutely sure you would have spent 5 hours just running after each of them trying to catch up.
Yes, it happens. It happened when we used to do the home visits. I remember we used to take more time because every animal behaves differently when they are in their own territory. So when we used to go to their houses, sometimes they were very happy, very welcoming. Sometimes they become very bossy. So you have to deal with all those things. But the moment dogs come into a neutral territory, like the parlor or somewhere, space which is not known to the dog, behaves in a very subtle or maybe in a very certain manner. They takes time to behave. I haven't seen dogs coming to the parlor and immediate start behaving bad. No.
So, Vizal, my experience through my dogs, one of my dogs to you has been that my caretakers, when they bring my three of the three, one dog to you who is a blind dog, he's very comfortable with one of your boys, right? And I'd like to know, how is it that, because that dog, even my vet can't touch. I mean, it's either my caretakers or me, and nobody else can manage him. He's an indie blind dog. I think you can relate. I think you know him, Lucky.
Still, Bonnie, I don't know like what you're saying, because every time you tell me this and I wonder why you say this for Lucky. He's the sweetest dog on earth. Trust me. He just came, he just be like every time he comes, he's so happy, he's so gentle. He give his paws like a lady is for the manicure and pedicure.
Yeah,
I
I've
don't know
heard that,
why
and
you are so much curious
when,
about your dog.
when you
He's
did the video call
absolutely good.
with me,
All my staff loves him. Like,
so
I don't know.
I
Maybe the
think,
energy is in my parlor. I don't know.
yeah, I
We
don't know,
haven't
but
done anything, frankly
uh,
speaking.
do you sort of identify individuals when you take them into your in for the grooming? How do you groom your people? How do you scale them up to the level that animals who are sort of not comfortable with human beings, and especially blind animal, and I can relate to some of the blind dogs who are very wary of, or rather not trusting of, strangers. And after almost 8 years, when I eventually found your parlor, and when my caretakers eventually started bringing my dogs to you, I was absolutely delighted, because not only do they come back clean, smelling good and happy, but oh, hello, is that your boy or girl?
He's just kind of, yeah, boy, Jumru. I'll introduce him later because he's just scratching my legs. And I think it's a walk time. Sorry.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So, I mean, coming back to my question, as in how are the people in your, or how is your staff so trained and so in tune with animals? How much time do you spend grooming them up to scale up to the level of being compassionate?
So, see, it's a everyday job. Like, it's never ending. So, you have
Right.
to work them continuously. Like, you can't say that one is trained in 6 months or in a year. Because till date, I feel like there hell lot of things to learn for myself. So how can I say like they are completely no? So I work with them very closely. I learn a lot from them. They learn a lot from me. So
Mm.
that's how it happens. So the only thing which we just said from the very beginning is be patient. Be patient. Do not hurry. Any pet coming to you scared or petrified, just try to calm him down. Maybe don't do a session today. Take your time. Do it tomorrow. Book it another time. But be very, very patient. Do not hurry. So that's the whole thing.
So
Yeah.
do you have fixed time for people when they come, or people, there is a walk-in system in your dog parlor? People can just come in with their dogs, or do you have?
No, parlor is completely like we only do appointment basis. We do not actually able to attend walk-ins. If any walk-in come, we always request them to take appointment and come, because if someone is waiting already and someone walks in, or if there's an appointment coming in another half an hour time, or someone walk in and they request, so we always tell them that it's better
So,
if they take an
Vizal,
appointment and come.
I'd like to interrupt for a bit, because there is a lady called Ratna Mishra, and she's asking, "Hi, Vizal, do you help NRIs to bring their pets to India?" Uh, I'd like you to just answer this question.
Yeah, hi Ratna. So yes, we are into pet relocations. We help people for the importing and exporting of the dogs. Importing, yes, under the TR rule. We help people, and I think Bonnie, we are coming up with the pet relocation session soon.
At some
So we
point,
can,
yes.
yes, yes. So we are preparing that. So I think we will cover that answer well. But yes, Ratna, we help people in bringing dogs to India. Yes. So you can
And
reach me out on my contacts are there on my website, petspot.in. So you can write me or WhatsApp me, and I can help you with
I
that.
can assure you, bringing 5 cats that Vizal did whilst I was still in Germany, but Vizal moved my cats, it was nothing but absolute delight. So that's how I had gotten to know Vizal. So my story with Vizal, I think we interacted when I had to relocate to Germany and I had to move 7 pets, cats, dogs. It was a mixture of everything. And that's how we started interacting. And that probably will be covered in the next time that Vizal and I get together on a virtual mode. But for now, I am just so intrigued um, about you managing so many roles. So how do you do your work-life balance? I mean, as a woman in a world where things may not be so in equanimity in the world of you trying to manage things at work and at home and successfully doing so, what is that magic recipe that you have?
Frankly speaking, Bonnie, I never thought about it. Whatever comes, I just take it and do it. Like if it is work, house, I just, you know, all goes together. And maybe because my most of my work is from home, so that gives me, you know, a lot of benefit to take care of my home and my work together. But uh, I seriously never, you know, faced any kind of challenge balancing my work and my home till date. And I don't know how it happened, seriously.
And
Yeah.
you have enough and more support from your family with the work that you do, or was there ever a resistance?
Yes, a lot of support, you know. I think because my partner is amazing. That's what I just started with. You need a lot and lot of support from your family, from your partner. And yes, your partner plays the most important role if you are married or you are living in, you know, with somebody,
Mm.
because that's a day in, day out. Family is still, you know, if you are not with the family, you are somewhere outside just with your partner, or you're single, you need friends. You need somebody who are nearby as a support system.
Mm.
So I'm with my partner. So yes, I, you know, he never make me feel like, you know, in any kind of pressure. Or if he sees me that day is a busy day or something, he really, really take the, you know, the charge and help just take my all attention that day. And yeah, it's easy.
Right. And when you sort of decided to start growing into different branches, like it, I mean, I call it a domino effect because from the boarding you moved into grooming, from the grooming you moved into relocating. The transition may have also asked you to personally stretch, sometimes be traveling. uh, did you ever find it difficult being a woman and getting into the pet relocation area? Because logistics is a very man's world in that sense. Did you ever find
Yeah,
that?
friends. No, man, never. I never felt like, you know, though many times whenever I'm standing in the midnight at the cargoes surrounded by men,
Mm,
sometimes, you know, with the, you know, people looking at me or staring at me, I felt like that, you know, they are staring with those questions, oh, what this woman is doing at the midnight at the airport.
mm.
But no, it gave me more strength and more, you know, just push to go and do better. It never stopped me. There were challenges, but I always took it as a challenge to go
Vizal,
further.
there is an interesting part of you that I have gotten an insight to, that you have also worn a hat of being a qualified ring steward with KCI. And touch upon that and elaborate a bit about what is a ring steward and everything that you're talking about.
Yeah, so like me and Rana both have a passion of, you know, certain breeds, showing dog shows in India, pedigreed dogs. So we were attending a lot of dog shows since our childhood. Uh, uh, Let me be correct, like since our college days.
Mm-hmm.
So we were attending a lot of dog shows across Delhi, NCR. And once we got married, we started traveling. DogSpot was there. So with the DogSpot help, we were traveling and just covering all the dog shows across India. So we also had dogs, and then I got this passion of starting showing my own dogs.
Right.
So I had a Lhasa Apso which I started showing, and then I started learning about breeds. And this ring stewardship is basically uh, there's a you have to write an exam for it. So when the show happens in the KCI, when there is a judge and there is a ring steward which actually controls the entire, or which handles the entire ring. So ring is where all the dogs are coming and judges, judging the dogs. So ring steward is the person who's just keeping the control of entire ring. So one has to write an exam and clear it to be a ring steward in KCI.
Very comfortable with all sizes of dogs, I guess.
Yes, very much. But still, I have seen like very bad injuries in the other rings or with the other ring stewards. Even one of my very close friend got bitten by Rottweiler. It was a third-degree bite on the arm in the ring itself. So still, I feel little scared sometimes when there is a ring of some massive, breeds. I just keep a little distance somehow. I don't know. There is a fear because I've seen that happening in front of me, and without any reason. I was so like watching that the entire moment. So still, that fear is there.
When you do your groomings, do you have a fascination for big breeds or small breeds? Your personal, everybody has personal preferences. Like I love big breed dogs. Not that I don't like small dogs, but the bigger the dog, the happier I am. So what is your personal favorite?
See, I get satisfaction grooming a good German Shepherd, or maybe grooming a good Mastiff, But I love, I really love grooming Shih Tzus because I'm a groomer. I like hair. I love hair. There should be something to play around with.
Wow.
So yes, I like Shih Tzus, Lhasas, or Cocker Spaniels. But the satisfaction comes from because that's, the rubbing and massive work on the big dog. I really like doing that.
Right. So you went through certain courses to become a groomer. If you were to motivate people, let's say people who are in smaller towns, and you came from a small town and moved into Delhi and then took this up, and you've sort of you've created this charter for yourself, and how would you motivate people who really love animals, would want to do something in their tiny cities across India? And India is so large, there's so much potential. How would you encourage them to go about this path?
See, frankly speaking, Bonnie, I'm blessed with people around me, like with so many of knowledge, like so much of knowledge and experience in dog world. So I have learned a lot from them, hands on end. And I've been to like certain countries. I worked with some groomers for a few days, just there and doing a workshop with them on certain breeds. So that's how I learned personally. So, but many people, they come to me, they say if from where they can do, what they can do. I always suggest them to go for the right course if they have no other way to learn.
Right.
Or if they have no other way to experience really on the dog. Because in India, it's very difficult to find a demo dog. So I don't know how parlors are or any schools are doing it. But in Gurgaon, I have found it's very difficult to find demo dogs or dogs to, really
Learn how to
work
do.
upon or learn how to do grooming. Yes.
Right. And
So that's why I always suggest people to do a proper course and do it. But I am actually really blessed.
right.
Yeah.
And you did your courses from different places, or were you this was also hands-on training that you got?
I haven't done any certification course till date, but I work with one of the best groomers in the world. So that person, like his name is Zob. I know the nickname. His real name is really big. It's a Thai name. But yes, I work with Ob. I've been to Thailand. I lived there for a few days. He taught me how to groom Pomeranians for the show quality Pomeranians. Then I worked with, now Cherian is teaching me how to groom a nice Cocker Spaniel, though I learned from Sharat sir and many other people how to groom a nice Cocker Spaniel. But now Nina was here from Finland. She taught me how to groom a nice Cocker Spaniel, and now Cherian is there. So there are people, who really, you actually work on a real dog, and you get to know the dog, and you get to know the breed, and you get to know the
Sorry, I think we have Vizal frozen. We might just need some technical support from DogSpot team. We'll just wait for Vizal to come back. Apologies. Vizal, sorry, we lost you.
Yeah, I'm here. Yes.
Yeah, we lost
Yeah,
you. Apologies. So the last bit was, I think it fell off with your internet going a little wonky. How's the weather in Gurgaon though?
today it's very weird. In the morning it was sunny, hot, humid, and now I can see there's a lot of clouds coming, hoping for the lovely evening. Yeah. So it's very like mixed weather these days. Days are hot, evenings are pleasant, mornings are pleasant, so it's good.
So it's nice. It's nice for you. It's nice for the dogs, and
Yeah, for the plants.
for the plants as
Not
well.
for the dogs. They don't want to go out for a walk at all. No.
No,
Now we have shifted the walk timings really early and late evening.
in the evenings.
It's hot outside in the day.
So I'm hoping that the connection will remain because I think it's just been a little wonky today. And
Yeah.
um, Vizal, when you did your grooming courses, do you also scale up your team in your pet shop for the PetSpot people to groom further, or are you the only person who does the grooming?
No, so from the very beginning, I involved my grooming staff to be hands-on with me. First, like for a few months, maybe they just washing, cleaning, drying, they're learning that. But if somebody has an interest to, learn further, I never stop anybody. I just say, go for it. So they just work, and they learn with me. And if they want to go for certain courses or something, I always help them. So my boys are, they keep learning. Yeah.
Right. That and do you also sort of have dogs who come to your spa and have certain preferences for certain people that they will stay with? I mean, do you actually do your calendars of human beings along with the calendars of people who are sending their dogs to for the grooming purpose?
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So dogs and cats rule the roost, right?
Yes. So we have to actually set it. If we have dogs coming, we keep the cats in a very different hours. We can't mix anything.
So
We
talk us
have
a
to.
little about your grooming because grooming is such a big word, and sometimes a lot of pet parents think they can just give a bath to a dog in the house, or just trim the nails of a cat and that's done. But as a pet parent, I personally know the importance of of the role that a good pet spa has. I'd like you to just elaborate a bit on it and enlighten a lot of us who may not be knowing about it.
Hello, Bonnie. Your voice is breaking.
Vizal, I wanted you to elaborate the importance of grooming in a dog or a cat, and what is the difference from giving a dog or a cat a bath in the home and just trimming their nails? I mean, what is different?
See, Bonnie, for me, grooming is all about keeping a dog healthy and clean.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe just dust free, tick free, mat free, or any kind of other stickiness, anything. Just absolutely clean and healthy dog is a groomed dog for me. And then comes all these kind of fancy grooming, or say standard grooming as per the breed standard. Then there is no end. But for me, the grooming word is all about the cleaning. The nail should be properly trimmed, ear should be properly cleaned and checked on a regular basis. Their glands and everything should be properly expressed and clean. Their
But
hair
a lot
should
of
be
people
regularly.
do not know, I guess, when they are at home about the glands. I think most people, even I wouldn't have known
Yeah, so
about.
if you can't do those things at home, yes, you can visit a parlor on a regular basis, like once in a month or once in like uh,
Mm,
maybe, twice in a month, that's it. And you can get all these things there. But it's
right.
all about, but because sometimes people think, oh, we are washing a dog at home and it's done. But
Yeah.
it's not done. You have to brush it on a regular basis. You have to check the nails. You have to check, under the paws area, whether there is anything growing or anything stuck or, there is any
Mm-hmm.
fur ball happening there. You have to check the ear properly. Like, is there anything, like why the wax is coming so much? Is there any infection or something? So one has to look on in all these details. Sometimes dog is rubbing their butt on the floors, on the mat. So one has to just go to the vet or to the groomer to get the anal glands clean. So these are the few things which one can just keep check on a regular basis. And then comes the breeds. There are breeds like Shih Tzus, Lhasa, Cocker Spaniel, or any hairy breeds which need a trim time to time. Like if you are not able to invest that much of time on a regular basis, so one can keep hair a little short, which is easily manageable, and you can just do it on a regular basis, like once in 2 months, once in 45 days, and you can keep a dog easy to manage at home. You can just brush it on a daily basis and just keep all the things checked on a regular basis, and the dog is good.
And what about a cat? What, how, what's
So in
important?
cats, especially in the long hair cats, like if you talk about Persian, then yes, they need a regular brushing. Cats
Right.
do not need too much of washes, frankly speaking. But
Right.
yes, sometimes people who have white cats or or a lighter color cat or a cat getting too much of tear stains, so they need some cleaning on a regular basis. So they come for the washes as well for the certain kind of like these stain removing or those things. But yes, regular brushing again, nail trimming, ear cleaning is all about cat as well. There is no such difference. It's just the behavioral and the handling difference.
Right.
Otherwise, grooming is almost same for cat and dog both.
There is a question from Dinkar Pratap Singh, which I've put up for you. It says that with summer, dogs get a lot of ticks, and from groomer's point of view, do spot-ons, etc., anti-tick liquids okay for the coat and skin of the dog? I think there is a difference in putting an anti-tick vis-a-vis giving them a tick bath. Just elaborate on when an animal should be given a tick bath vis-a-vis when can you just use a spot on. I think that's important for people to sort
See,
of.
when you find there are ticks in the body, like ticks started coming,
Right.
you can do a precautionary, precaution. You can take some precautions as well. There is a medicine called Brelacto, which works pretty well on my
Yeah,
dogs, and
I
you can
personally
check with
believe
that.
that the tick medicines should be administered through vets.
Yeah, so
I
but that's
reckon
what
that
I'm
you do.
saying. Like you check with your vet, like what works for your dog. But yes, if there is a ticks already on the dog's body,
Right.
and there are, the breeding is happening, you see eggs or mites or fleas or something, then just go to the vet and check, because some dogs are really, really sensitive, or some animals are sensitive to certain products. So
Right.
you have to check what works with your particular animal, and you can go with it. And I use it on a regular basis. Whenever I find there's a tick coming or flea coming on my dog, I just
Hmm.
do a mild tick wash, put a spot on for a month, and done. Like I'm fine with it. But
Right.
every dog is different. Their skin type is different. So one has to check with the vet about it, because we usually do on a prescription basis. So if
Uh-huh.
anybody comes to us and say, my vet has asked me to give a tick bath, we properly ask them, like, show us the prescription and what dosage or what, if they ask for a red bath or any particular shampoo, what kind of tick shampoo they have asked, we always ask for that. Or if the dogs come for the medicated treatment, like say there is any fungal, bacterial, any kind of infection, and they want a, medicated bath, we always ask a prescription from the client. So that's why we always say go to the vet and check what works with your dog.
Right, right. Because it varies from dog to dog, breed to breed,
Absolutely, absolutely, yes.
and
Even the dosages varies, everything varies. Yeah.
yeah. So, Vizal, there's another question from the same person saying, is it true that once the anal glands are expressed manually at groomers, they always need to be expressed by humans? Is it better to add fibers in the diet to avoid it in the first place? What are your views?
Dinkar is absolutely right here. Yes, it happens. But, certain dogs, they just keep rubbing it on the floor if you are not doing it manually, and they leave it on your expensive sofas or on your expensive, carpets, and keep smelling. You have to put the like your sofa or your carpet to the dry clean, because the smell is so strong you can't remove it with any agent.
Right.
So in that case, it's better if you do it manually if it is a pet dog, or if you have just one pet or two pets. But if you have too many pets, it's very difficult to manage, manually to do all
Right.
of them.
Yeah.
Or if you have a different kennels, the dog is not living indoors in your, house.
Mhm.
If they have a different separate kennels and they are outdoors, then you can maybe leave them.
Mm.
It's absolutely fine. And he's absolutely right. If you add a fiber in their diet, it's
Right.
yeah, it helps. It avoids this gland foul smell.
Right. So, Vizal, thanks so much for that clarity. What are the other things that you would suggest, let's say, people who bring their dogs or cats to you for grooming, where the hair is very matted or, long hair? Elaborate how do people in their own way can look after their pets at home and then bring them for grooming rather than, because a lot of at times animals also get stressed whilst traveling, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And, so bringing every 15 days or every month may not be a possibility, but 2 months even I would suggest is as a minimum, that maximum that you can wait before you bathe your
But
dog.
I'll tell you, Bonnie, about my experience. The dogs who are coming to us on a frequent basis, like a little more frequent, say 15 days or once in a month, they
Right.
are more happier dogs,
Yeah,
than
yeah.
the dogs who come less. Because they are so used to us, they come happily. They know they'll get rubbed, they get treats, they get all the fancy things here.
And the massage and
They get all the love from the staff, and so they just come happily, they get groomed, and it's very easy for them as well and for us, because they are 80% clean. We just need to do 20%, maintain the dog, give it back, and then again 15 days back it come, maintain, give. But
yeah.
if the dog is coming after 2 months or 3 months, and the
Hmm.
dog is not taken care in those 2 3 months at home, the condition will be bad, or can be bad. We have to spend more time. Dog has to go under more stress. We have to put ourselves into stress, taking all the knots out, taking the dirt out, chopping those all uneven hair or whatever. So I have seen the dogs who are regular or are more happier than the dogs who come on a very, less
Uh, Sporadic.
frequency. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And
So
when
same, like if you're grooming your dog on a regular basis, like just brushing your dog on a regular basis at home, they start liking it. They start enjoying it. I'm not kidding. My dog, the moment I pick up the brush, my dog just lie down, hands up and belly up on the air, and he just lie down, brush, brush, and he just loves it. He can sit for hours for brushing, because if you are doing it on a regular basis, they enjoy it. If you do
Mhm.
once in a month, they will never enjoy it. They just hate it. So, because then you're pulling their hair, you're hurting them, you're trying to take the knots out. It's kind of a really, really
it's
painful
like
for the
combing
animal.
your
If you
own
are,
hair as well. It's the same thing with
yeah,
our own.
anything, or the eyes are sticky, it becomes really bad sometimes if the those whole thing is stick here. So yes, if you are doing it on a regular basis, dogs also enjoy it. If you
Right.
are taking your dog every day in the car out, they start loving the ride. If you take your dog out once in a year in a car, they will hate it for sure.
Well, I think I'm going to outsource you going to my house, picking up my dog, and giving him a car ride. Please do that for Lucky.
I would love to do that. Yeah, anytime.
He's your rock
Yes.
star fan. So, Vizal, we are slowly running out of time, but I really want to touch upon your journey with the pet relocation and some of these areas that are so critical when we start off with thinking of relocating our fur babies. I do remember the journey that I had to take with you to move the cats and the dogs. It's like you first thing you told me was crate training, and I was harrowed with the thought. So touch upon that before we eventually have to end the session, because I think that's such a critical part. And it took me 2 years to eventually make the move, but that's how long it can take. So touch upon the importance of some of these things?
Over the years of pet relocation experience, I have learned like the first thing which comes, for any relocation for a pet is the pet should be trained to sit in their crate, because if you are talking about international travel or a long distance domestic travel and you are planning to take do a air travel, then you have to put your dog in a crate or a cat in a crate. So if the dog or cat is not trained to sit in a crate, it means you are adding up a lot of anxieties, lot of stress to the pet. So if you really want your pet to be stress free, to be any kind of anxiety free, start training them from the very beginning, from the very moment you get the pet home as a puppy. Maybe if you haven't done that task, maybe start as soon as possible. You are planning for your relocation. The more time you give your pet for the crate training, more easier for you and for pet for the travel. Yes, that's the first thing. Then comes the vaccine, microchipping. Those things are there. We will talk about it.
Touch upon it later because of the paucity of time. But yes, I from my personal and experience and Vizal, I think it wouldn't have been possible without you, because none of my pets were ever crate trained. I used to believe that probably crate training is detrimental for their mental health, but through you, I realized that you can really learn to create the safe space. But we will definitely need a lot more than probably an hour or 10 minutes or something of that sort to talk about it. So keeping that in mind and having covered all the questions that had popped up for people inquiring in our conversation, I think it has been a beautiful journey of conversation with you today. This last 1 hour has been absolutely lovely. And you've been quite a beacon of light in your own way for a lot of people who live in smaller towns and would want to do something with the animals, love animals. I think your journey has been an inspiration today for those who've heard us. And thank you so much then.
Thank you so much, Bonnie. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
One last word from you. Who are the pets in your life at this point in time? How many pets do you have?
I have got 3 pets. One is Lhasa, one is a golden retriever, and one is German Shepherd. My Lhasa is Jumru. He's here with me. He's my companion. Because, when I was a kid, I got my first dog, Lhasa. So Lhasa is always there in my life since then. It's been almost 20, 25 years. And my golden retriever is Bella. She's about 3-year-old now. Maybe in next session, in the pet relocation session, I'll bring her here. And German Shepherd is Bruce, which is your favorite, Bonnie. Jumru, come on, good boy. Let me get Jumru here. Okay, here. Say hi to everybody.
Hello there. So thank you for introducing us to your pet family, Vizal, and you and your tribe. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Yeah, just be kind and be compassionate always towards the animal. Thank you so much to everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.